There was a time when summer wasn't just about the weather, it was about the food. The special treats that only appeared when the days grew long and the school holidays stretched endlessly ahead. If you remember queuing at the corner shop for a 99 flake or the joy of finding a proper ice cream van, then you'll know exactly what I mean. Hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and tell us in the comments which of these summer memories takes you right back to those golden days. The 99 flake. Before artisan ice cream and fancy gelaterias, there was royalty in a cone, the 99 flake. That magical combination of soft-serve vanilla ice cream, spiraled high into a crispy wafer cone, crowned with a chocolate flake pushed deep into the swirl. The name itself is wrapped in mystery. Some say it referenced the 99th Regiment of Foot, others claim it was Cadbury's product code. But none of that mattered when you heard that tinkling melody echoing down your street. The ice cream van was coming, and suddenly every pocket was turned inside out for loose change. The 99 wasn't just a treat, it was summer's official announcement. You'd bite the flake first, letting the chocolate crumble and melt on your tongue, then work your way down through the cream, racing against the sun. The cone was always saved for last, that final sweet crunch before the magic was gone. Even now, decades later, that first lick of a proper 99 can transport you straight back to childhood summers, when time moved slowly and ice cream vans were the soundtrack to endless days. Wall's Ice Cream Lollies. Wall's wasn't just a brand in the 70s, it was summer itself. From the moment those distinctive freezer cabinets appeared at every corner shop and newsagent, childhood took on a whole new dimension. There was the Zoom, that space-age rocket lolly that made you feel like you were eating the future, all orange and lime layers frozen solid on a stick. The Fab, with its strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate stripes, was like having a party in your mouth. And who could forget the Split, that coconut and strawberry delight that lived up to its name when the coconut shell inevitably cracked and fell to the pavement. Each lolly had its own personality, its own fan base. Some kids were loyal to one type, others were adventurous, trying something new each time. The ritual was always the same though, studying the faded pictures on the freezer lid, the agony of choice, then the careful unwrapping, making sure not to tear the paper wrapper that might be needed to catch the drips. These weren't just frozen treats, they were the currency of summer friendships, shared and swapped in playgrounds across Britain. Corona Pop and glass bottles. Long before fizzy drinks came in plastic bottles and ring pools, there was Corona. Those heavy glass bottles with their distinctive shape and that satisfying pop when the metal cap came off with a proper bottle opener. Corona wasn't just a drink, it was an event. The flavors were bold and unapologetic. Cherryade that was redder than any cherry in nature, dandelion and burdock that tasted like a countryside adventure, and cream soda that was somehow both sweet and sophisticated. The bottles themselves were part of the magic. They felt substantial in your hands, and there was something deeply satisfying about the way the fizz hit your nose when you took that first sip. You'd return the empties for a few pence, money that would immediately be spent on sweets or saved up for the next bottle. The glass would fog up on hot days, beading with condensation that you'd wipe away with your sleeve. Drinking Corona was a slower affair than today's quick-grab sodas. You'd sit on a curb or lean against a wall, taking your time, making it last. The empty bottle would be carefully placed back in the crate, ready for its next adventure. Mr. Whippy and soft ice cream. The ice cream van's arrival was always heralded by that unmistakable tune, usually Greensleeves played at a slightly manic tempo through tinny speakers. But it was Mr. Whippy who ruled the soft-serve kingdom in the 70s. That perfect white swirl dispensed from a machine that seemed impossibly complex to young eyes, curling round and round until it formed a perfect peak in your cone. The beauty of Mr. Whippy wasn't just in the eating, it was in the watching. The van driver, often in a pristine white coat, would work the machine with the skill of a maestro, creating each ice cream with theatrical flair. You could have it plain, which was perfectly respectable, or go wild with a flake, hundreds and thousands, or that lurid red strawberry sauce that bore no resemblance to actual strawberries but somehow tasted like summer itself. The texture was everything, smooth, cold, creamy, but with just enough air to make it feel light and magical. It melted faster than you could eat it on the hottest days, creating sticky rivers down your hands and arms. But that was part of the joy, the race against time, the sweet mess, the complete abandonment to the moment. Lions made ice lollies and King Cone. While Walls dominated the ice cream world, Lions Made carved out its own special place in the British summer. The King Cone was their crown jewel, a proper ice cream cone filled with vanilla, topped with a swirl of chocolate, nuts, and that distinctive Lions Made cherry on top. It was like having a restaurant dessert that you could eat while walking down the street. But Lions Made's genius lay in their variety. There was the Haunted House, a spooky black ice cream that turned your tongue purple and delighted children while horrifying parents. The choc ice, perfectly square and covered in thick chocolate that would crack when you bit into it, revealing the vanilla treasure within. And for the sophisticated palate, there was the Neapolitan slice, 3 flavors in perfect harmony: strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate, all held together by those thin wafer layers. Each Lyons-made product felt special, almost luxurious. The packaging was elegant, the flavors were distinct, and eating one felt like a proper occasion rather than just a quick sugar fix. They represented a kind of aspirational ice cream, the choice you made when you wanted to treat yourself or impress your friends. Fyndeau's crispy pancakes. Summer in the 70s wasn't just about ice cream, it was also about those wonderfully convenient frozen foods that made hot weather cooking bearable. Fyndeau's crispy pancakes were the absolute pinnacle of sophisticated dining for families across Britain. These weren't just any old ready meal, they were pancakes filled with proper ingredients like chicken and sweet corn, minced beef, or cheese and bacon, all wrapped up in a golden crispy coating that somehow managed to stay crunchy while the inside became molten hot. The cooking ritual was sacred, straight from the freezer into the oven, then that agonizing wait while the kitchen filled with the most tantalizing aromas. The first bite was always an adventure. You never quite knew if you'd hit the right temperature or if the filling would be volcanic enough to remove the roof of your mouth. But when you got it right, when that crispy shell gave way to the creamy, savory filling, it felt like pure luxury. They represented modernity, convenience, and a kind of space-age cooking that fitted perfectly with the optimistic spirit of the 70s. Served with chips and maybe some tinned sweet corn, crispy pancakes turned any summer evening into a feast. Viennetta and special occasion ice cream. If there was one dessert that could instantly elevate any summer gathering from ordinary to spectacular, it was Viennetta. That magnificent construction of vanilla ice cream layered with chocolate in elegant ripples that looked like something from a fancy restaurant but came from your local freezer aisle. Viennetta wasn't just pudding, it was theater. The moment had to be right, the table properly set, guests assembled, the host wielding the knife with ceremonial gravity. Cutting into a Viennetta was an art form. You had to find the right angle, apply just the right pressure, and hope that your slice would hold together long enough to make it from serving plate to bowl. The layers would reveal themselves like geological strata: vanilla, chocolate, each one perfectly defined. The taste was sophisticated yet accessible, creamy yet structured. It managed to be both everyday affordable and special occasion worthy. Serving Viennetta at a dinner party or family gathering sent a clear message: this wasn't just any old dessert course, this was something worth celebrating. For many families, it became the default choice for birthdays, anniversaries, and those long summer evenings when ordinary ice cream simply wouldn't do. Wimpy and the burger experience. Long before McDonald's conquered Britain, there was Wimpy, the original British burger experience that defined fast food for an entire generation. In the 70s, going to Wimpy wasn't just about grabbing a quick bite, it was a proper dining experience. You'd sit down at a formica table, be served by actual waitstaff, and receive your burger on a proper plate with metal cutlery. The Wimpy burger itself was a thing of beauty, a proper beef patty, not too thick, not too thin, nestled in a soft bun with lettuce, tomato, and that distinctive Wimpy sauce that no one could quite replicate at home. The chips came separately, hot and golden, often served in a basket lined with greaseproof paper. But it was the atmosphere that made Wimpy special. The red and white color scheme, the jukebox in the corner, the sense that you were somewhere genuinely American yet reassuringly British. Families would make a trip to Wimpy a proper outing, perhaps after a Saturday morning shopping trip or as a treat during the school holidays. The staff knew the regulars, children would save up their pocket money for weeks to afford a burger and milkshake, and parents could relax knowing this was proper food served properly. Butterscotch Angel Delight. No summer gathering in the 70s was complete without someone producing a bowl of Angel Delight, and butterscotch was always the most popular flavor. This wasn't just dessert, it was kitchen magic. You'd watch in fascination as your mum or nan whisked the pale powder with cold milk, and somehow, impossibly, it would transform into something light, fluffy, and utterly delicious. The butterscotch flavor was pure nostalgia in a bowl, sweet, creamy, with that distinctive artificial butterscotch taste that somehow managed to be more appealing than the real thing. It set just enough to hold its shape but remained light and airy, almost mousse-like in texture. Making Angel Delight was a ritual that children could participate in, measuring the powder, pouring the milk, and most importantly, taking turns with the whisk. The real skill was knowing when to stop whisking. Too little and it wouldn't set properly, too much and you'd end up with something resembling foam. It was the perfect summer dessert because it was refreshing without being cold, sweet without being heavy, and sophisticated enough for grown-ups while still being fun for children. Served in proper glass bowls, perhaps with a biscuit on the side, Angel Delight made every meal feel like a celebration. Spam fritters and chip shop treats. While fish and chips remained the undisputed king of British takeaways, the 70s saw the rise of some wonderfully eccentric chip shop additions that became summer staples. The spam fritter was perhaps the most gloriously bizarre, a slice of processed meat coated in batter and deep-fried until golden. It shouldn't have worked, but somehow it absolutely did. The contrast between the salty, slightly mysterious meat and the crispy, light batter was pure genius. Served with chips and doused in vinegar, it became a legitimate meal that could fuel an entire afternoon of summer adventures. Then there were the other chip shop innovations, battered sausages that were somehow completely different from ordinary sausages, pie and chips where the pie was always a proper steak and kidney affair with thick, rich gravy, and for the truly adventurous, the pickled egg, that perfect sphere of protein that sat in its jar of vinegar like a challenge to your taste buds. These foods represented a kind of working-class sophistication, familiar ingredients transformed by the alchemy of the chip shop into something special. They were eaten standing up, straight from the paper, shared among friends, and always accompanied by the ritual of adding salt, vinegar, and perhaps a splash of brown sauce. These weren't just foods, they were the flavors of freedom, the tastes that defined those endless summer days when anything seemed possible. Each one tells a story of a Britain that was changing, becoming more adventurous, more international, yet still proudly itself. If any of these brought back a memory or made you hungry for the past, subscribe for more nostalgic journeys and hit that like button, because some flavors are simply too good to forget.